Hi everybody, it is Sunday, October 19th, 2014. Thanks for stopping by. Now, I'm still talking to people over the Bill Maher, Sam Harris dust up. And, from what I've seen, the videos about this event are really being swarmed by Israeli propagandists. You see them just everywhere. And maybe it's because I've had a lot of dealings with these people before and I recognize a lot of their names and I know who they are basically. Not specifically, but I know their nationality. And they say a lot of things that gives them away, of course. And I know that a lot of these people are Israelis. And a lot of them are very extreme in their views. And we know that the Israeli government has I guess you could call them a press corps that works in war rooms, and they constantly comment on social media, and that's their job. They do it all the time. And they get paid pretty handsomely for this. Now, this is not just me making this up. This is a known fact that's been reported on pretty widely. So some of these people you can bet are actually being paid to say these things. And some of them, of course, are not. Some of them are very, devoted to this cause and don't need to be paid. Because of extremism and hate, racism, probably fear, paranoia about Muslims and Arabs in general, which is kind of sad, but they're really motivated to defend whatever Israel does, and as a corollary to accuse Muslims and to demonize and dehumanize them at every opportunity. So now one of these people, and they all have fake images, of course. One of these people, called L Squibs, messaged me this morning, or sometime recently, and he said, here's a link to a pack of Muslims. Notice the word pack, because he's constantly calling Muslims animals like apes and savages and stuff, and just anything he can think of. So he says, there's a link to a pack of Muslims rioting over a movie. You know, the sort of behavior you say does not happen. Not true. I never said that Muslims never riot. I mean, that would be ridiculous. Notice the comment section filled with replies by your brothers supporting the actions. Here's the link, Muslims go crazy during anti-Islamic movie Sweden. I await your latest lie. So, and this is a person I've caught in lie after lie after lie, either intentional or just out of ignorance. And so he gives me this link, and so I go to this, and I do some research, and I'm looking for riots in Sweden over a movie by Muslims, and I couldn't find anything. I couldn't find anything about such a thing, except for articles claiming that they'd happened, but that the media wasn't reporting on it. Now that's a red flag right there of a urban legend or a lie being told about a minority, because racists do that all the time. They make up lies about minorities and they say they did this, but the media won't tell you, as if the media has some interest in supporting some Islamic agenda or supporting some black agenda or some Latino agenda, so that the Latinos are all going out and killing everybody and raping everybody, but the media won't tell you because they're in on it. Okay, that's a red flag for just something somebody made up. And because they know it's made up and there won't be any media reports of it, they just make up that the media is in on it, and so they're hiding it from you. It's a conspiracy theory. So that's all I really found. But I did find this video because he sent me the link to it. And here's what the video was about. Now, what they did was they got all these Muslims together, men, women, and children, and they sat them down in this big auditorium, and they filmed them, okay? immediately they had the camera on the audience, not on the screen. And so they're filming their reaction. So this guy comes up and he starts showing this movie. Now, you can't really tell what's going on in the movie, but you can tell from people's reactions and what they're saying that it's a gay porn featuring Muhammad. Okay? Because that's what they're saying it is. And so then they start with the subtitles, and the subtitles are just openly bigoted and openly demonizing the Muslims as they're talking. So you can tell whoever made the subtitles really had an interest in making these people look bad. Okay. So, what did they do? Did they riot? Well, no, they didn't. It was a 10-minute long video, and all they did was they stood up, they started yelling at the guy that was showing the video and calling him names. And they were saying things like, you know, we paid for this movie. We pay taxes. We're citizens, and we pay for these movies to be produced by the state. And you just made a gay porn about Muhammad, but Muhammad wasn't gay. You know, that's a lie. And they said, you're disrespecting us. You're insulting us. You know, things like that. And they started chanting Allahu Akbar, and they started chanting Muhammad. That's all they did. Now, the guy who made the video did get scared and he ran off. Okay. That happened pretty immediately, because I think he knew what kind of reaction he was going to get. And when he started getting it, he hauled ass and got out of there. And so then the police were up at the front, and the crowd was there, and the crowd was angry and shouting things. And one man in particular was more angry than everyone else, and he was instigating these chants. Okay. So then a couple of people came out of the crowd, a couple of Muslims, and stood between him and the police, just so he didn't get too out of control, and a couple of other people there that might have gotten angry, you know, and they weren't sure whether they were going to do anything violent or not. So they stood between them and the police, and they said, the police are just trying to do their job. Respect the police. You're going to get in trouble. Don't lose your head. You know, stuff like that. And then somebody said, you know, this is freedom of speech. We should let them do this. And then the crowd got angry again and said, no, this isn't freedom of speech. They're insulting us. Now, so, you know, I pointed this out to this guy that, hey, this wasn't a riot. What are you talking about? This is people getting angry and yelling. That's not a riot. And he just messaged me back and said, oh, you're a liar. You're still lying. Okay, but if I'm a liar, then how come the video is exactly what I say it is, and it's not what you say it is? Okay? L. Squibs, explain to me. You said it was a riot. It's not a riot. So am I lying or are you lying? Now, I want anybody watching this video, whether you give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down because you like me or you hate me, before you give me that thumbs up or that thumbs down, I want you to go watch that video and tell me I'm lying, or tell me I'm telling the truth. And try to be honest, okay? Because you don't have to like me, but at least tell the truth, okay? Because I say that nobody got hurt in that video and nothing got destroyed in that video, and it wasn't like that the crowd spilled out into the streets and caused anarchy and the police couldn't control it and they were beating up people and destroying property. That's a riot. A riot is not when people get angry and start yelling at each other. That's an argument, okay? Even if it's a darky, it's still an argument. So, you know, basically if L. Squibs, if you're right, then that means every time somebody gets into an argument and loses their cool, it's a riot. Every time there's a nonviolent protest and people are marching in the streets and chanting, it's a riot, according to you. And if I say, actually, that's not a riot, it's a nonviolent protest, and you say, oh, that's just semantics, No, that's not semantics. That's what it is. And you know that. I know it, you know it. Now, here's what you need to do, okay? If you're the victim of these Muslims and they're such bad people, here's what you do. Go to a black community somewhere and tell them, okay, we're going to make a movie because we don't have movies supported by taxes here like they do over there. So you're going to have to go a little bit out of your way, and you're going to have to raise some money for a movie, and tell them it's a movie about Martin Luther King Jr. Okay? So raise the money for your movie about Martin Luther King Jr. and they'll say, oh yeah, that's a great cause. We'll pay for that. And then make a movie about Martin Luther King Jr. being raped by the Klan while eating fried chicken and watermelon. And just have a little thing at the beginning where you say, "Back, hey black people." Show them that. Okay? Put them all in this big auditorium with their wives and children and show them a gay porn with Martin Luther King Jr. being raped by the Klan that they paid for with their money. And see what happens. Now, what I would imagine would happen would be that they will get up out of their seats and start yelling at you and telling you, what in the hell do you think you're doing? We paid for this. You're insulting us. And, then you can scurry away like a little cockroach and call it a riot. And you can say, free speech, free speech. Why are these savages interfering with my free speech? And it'll be exactly, precisely what you just showed me that just happened. That's what they did, and that's what you support. But you know what else, squibs? Hate speech against religious minorities, like Jews or Muslims, that's not protected free speech. You don't get to do that. You could be prosecuted for that in a lot of countries. A lot of democracies, Western democracies, you could be prosecuted to different extents for trying to incite genocide against a religious minority by insulting their very identity in such an overt and ridiculous manner. They don't have to put up with that shit from you. Did you know that? They have rights too. And, more importantly, you don't have the right to push that crap on them and then demand that they smile and like it. They cannot like it if they don't want to. They can get angry. They have the right to get angry and yell at your dumb racist ass. Just FYI. So tell me again that I'm a liar. But first, go watch that video and explain to me how that was a riot and not a bunch of people yelling because they just got insulted, like I told you it was, and like it is. And all of these people who are just trying to push hate against Muslims, many of them Israelis, you're a bunch of sick, sad sacks of shit. And I'm ashamed to be the same species as you people. Seriously. I told you that last time. I'll tell you it again. Because I'm ashamed. I feel such a sense of sadness for the human race when I see your shit. You despicable, filthy creatures. Haven't you got any shame? Haven't you got any humanity left inside you anywhere? Isn't there any room in there anymore with all that shit and hate that you've got piled up? I'm ashamed of you people. And this is not going to work. You can't do this. We won't let you. Thanks for watching.